What's up, guys? Coach Kelley here. Today I want to talk about what happens to somebody when they actually get clear about what it is that they want in life and where they want to go and the direction they want to steer this ship called life so that they can get more of the things that they want in life. Once you make that decision, then of course we have the three major categories that we have 100% control over at all times. Once you make the decision to take full responsibility for your life, at that point, you control your thoughts. That also includes what you say or what you don't say. You also include the images that you hold in your mind of the outcome that you want. So if we're not careful, it could look like a negative image, but we have control to change that into a positive image. So our mind likes to think in pictures. So it's good to form a picture, if you can, in your mind of a positive outcome that you actually want when you accomplish that thing that you've gotten clear about in your life. And then lastly is your behaviors and your actions. You control that 100% of the time. On the last video, I talked about these patterns that are already ingrained, like the old patterns, and if we're not careful, how we can fall back into those patterns. But let's say that you're doing really well and you have become totally aware of these thoughts, which is amazing. So I'd like to give you a round of applause, because if you've made it to this point where actually catching these negative thoughts or these negative behaviors and you're stopping yourself right in the middle of them so that you can redirect your thoughts, redirect your attention, redirect the images that you're holding in your mind of that thing, congratulations. This is a huge step. So if you're at that point where you're catching yourself and you're changing and you want this change to happen, and you've been doing the right things, you've been thinking the right thoughts, you've been holding the right images and taking the right steps, or at least the steps that you believe are going to get you closer to what you want, but you're not seeing the changes happen yet. I've heard two people talk about this. Neville Goddard was one of them, and I've also heard David Bayer talk about this, what's called an echo effect. So I wanted to just show you briefly what an echo effect is, and it's the reason why, and I think this will help you understand why you might not be seeing the changes show up physically in your life yet. And when I say yet, that is the main thing that I want you to focus on. Like, as long as you're doing the work and you're maintaining your awareness and you're doing the right things, they will show up. It's not always going to be on your timeline, but trust me, it will show up if you just stick to it and you continue to move forward over and over and over again each and every day. Sometimes the amount of time that it takes to actually get what you want, even if you're taking the right steps each day, it can take longer than, of course, other things. If I just wanted to get new tires for my car, well, then that might be something I could do tomorrow, versus I want to have $1 million in my bank account. That might not happen overnight. We're going to have to take lots of steps. We're going to have to stay focused, be intentional, keep our thoughts and our actions and the images we hold in our mind, keep that stuff in check in order for it to ever begin to start manifesting in our life. So let's look at what the echo effect is. When you have a pattern, your old pattern that I talked about in the last video that I did, I talked about how we need to interrupt the pattern by becoming aware. That's the key. You've got to become more aware throughout the day and stop running on autopilot. You've been putting these thoughts and feelings and intentions and taking actions and talking about certain things for quite some time. These are your old patterns. You've been putting these out there and they're just radiating off of you in all different directions, right? And they've been going out and probably manifesting exactly where you're at today and what you have today. Think of this as the future. This is all the future. This is the present right here, present. And this is all future out here. So as soon as I make the decision to take 100% responsibility and I'm really become aware of my thoughts and the images and the actions that I'm taking each day to change my future, then this awareness is creating a new wave of information that's being put out into the world. And this new wave is traveling out there. Like you're projecting what it is that you want in your life to happen, and that's a positive thing. However, you have to escape the old waves before things actually begin showing up. That's why sometimes when you get your thoughts right and your images right and your actions right, it's not like an immediate fix. It takes time. But as long as you stay determined and you stay focused and you continue to be intentional, what will happen is all of a sudden your new future, so they call this the echo effect. Right now and into the near future, if this was the near future right here, right here to this point, well, you're still going to be operating off of the old, the echo that you've been putting out for so many years. And depending on how many years that echo's been going out, like, it's pretty strong. We don't know exactly how fast it's going to change, but at this moment in the near future, it's just going to be the same old echo that you were putting out into the world, into the universe. But with continuing your new actions, your new behaviors, your new thoughts, the new way that you're talking about your future and how you see the world, that's more positive and more advantageous to you, then you're going to get into a future that is dominated by your new thoughts. And pretty soon it's all going to be like the red will go away and it's just going to be blue. And at that point, you're living in a new energy. You're living in a new body, quite possibly. You're definitely operating from a new mind. So don't get impatient with the change that you're wanting to create, because you're still dealing with old echoes from so many years of operating the same way. Be patient, stick with it, continue to work on yourself each and every day. It's always going to be the best investment. As far as return on investment goes, it's going to be invest in your own personal education, invest in your own free time, your time that you give yourself each and every day to focus on you, to become a better person, to learn something new. And as long as you keep doing that over and over again, trust me, over a period of time, you're going to become that new person. And there's a ripple effect, an echo effect from that. So everybody within your vicinity actually becomes better as well. So I hope this makes sense to you. Understand that you're not going to see changes immediately just because you had an awareness and some insights and you started to look at the world differently and think differently and act differently. You're still living in today, which is an echo effect of the past you. So just stay the course. Continue to work forward. Continue to be intentional. Continue to focus. And remain aware as much as you can throughout each and every day. And pretty soon you'll have a brand new future. I'll see you on the next one. This is your moment. Boom.